Hello and welcome to today's video where I am discussing A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. And, okay, first of all, I really love this cover. I think I like this cover more than I like the US cover. I just think it's like super cool. Can you see it? Yeah, I'm sure you can see it. It might be out of focus. I don't know. We'll figure that out afterwards. But I loved this book. 4 or 5 stars? Did I give it 5 stars? I think I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I do think that I like Vicious just a little bit more, but I did really love this, and yes. So this review is going to be a non-spoily review, so you don't have to worry about leaving or doing anything besides sitting and watching and hearing more about this fantastic book. So in case you do not know what this book is about, a brief synopsis is that you have the main character, Kel, who is this time traveler. I guess I should back it up. So in this fictional world, you have different parallel Londons that are all like laid out the same way, but they have like different rulers and different languages and stuff like that. So you have Red London, White London, Grey London, and the mysterious Black London. The main character, Kel, is from Red London, and he is a traveler. He is one of 2 living people who can travel between the different Londons. They've been closed off to different people, and Kel and this other guy named Holland are the only ones who can travel back and forth between the different parallel Londons. Kel is officially a messenger for Red London, where he resides for the king and queen and passes messages to and from his kingdom to other kingdom Londons. Unofficially, he's a smuggler, and it's illegal to take things from one London to the other, and not supposed to happen, but Kel just has a bad habit, and eventually that habit gets him into trouble, and he smuggles something that he shouldn't have smuggled, and then he's supposed to try to get rid of it. Along the way, Kel meets this really kick-ass character, and her name is Lila, short for Delilah, and you didn't need to know that. Let's try this again. Along the way, Kel meets this kick-ass female character who's very spunky and adventurous, and her name is Lila, and they end up helping out each other through Kel's journey. And this is the first book, and I think it's going to be a duology, I think. So this is the first book, and there will be a second book. Currently it says in 2016, so yes. One of the things that I love about this book is the imagination that went into almost every single detail. One of my favorite things was Kel. He has this cloak that has like very different layers, and you know, you can turn the cloak inside out to reveal another cloak, if that makes sense, or coat. And the first thing that I thought when I finished this book was that for the Scotland weather lately, I really wish I could have that coat so I can go from something too cold to something a little bit lighter but still like functionally protecting against the cold, and then something that protects against the rain. It's just been crazy here, and that was one of the first things that I thought when I finished this book, was that I really wanted Kel's coat, because that just sounds very functional. I also like how in each separate London there's a story, and they're very distinct, and they have like their own language and their own rulers and their own system of how everything works. The magic that goes into it, the different kinds of magic, everything is just thoroughly thought out and put into detail without bogging you down. That's one of the things that I really liked about Vicious as well. So basically this writer, V.E. Schwab, Victoria Schwab, is just really good at giving us just enough details without bogging us down and still enabling us to fully immerse within her world. So I also felt like this book, that it was a very easy read in the sense that just the way that her words flow and everything connects together. You don't realize you've read as much until you look at the page numbers and you're like, oh, I've actually read quite a bit, and it didn't really seem like that long. So as I mentioned, each London is different, and you have Red London, which is the London that Kel is from, and in this London, magic is very prevalent and people are very prosperous, and it kind of just seems like an all-around good kingdom with magic. And then you have Grey London, which is where Lila is from, and basically magic is gone from Grey London, and it's ruled by Mad King George III or something like that. And so that London, Grey London, seems more like our typical modern day London, if that makes sense. And then you also have White London, which is very violent, and it's ruled by two rulers, a brother and a sister, and they are one heck of a crazy people, twisted and demented. Then Black London is the mysterious Black London. Magic kind of consumed everyone and everything for the worst, and so all the other Londons just kind of closed its doors and said no Black London, and it's assumed that it's just no longer there. But I have my own theories about Black London, which I think will play out in the next book. A Darker Shade of Magic does a really great job in the sense of it feels like a complete book, like it has a conclusion, and yet I know that there will be a sequel just because some questions aren't necessarily answered. So I can't wait for them to be answered in the second book, but the first book does a really good job of just leaving it whole and a good conclusion that's not cliffhangery, and so it's a really good book to where like I want to pick up the second book like now, but it's not because of the cliffhanger, it's just because I want to know what happens and I want to be immersed in that world again. But that's all I can really talk about without getting too spoilery, so I hope that you'll go check it out. I really enjoyed it. It was so different and interesting and good, and yes, if you liked Vicious, I would highly recommend A Darker Shade of Magic, or vice versa. Those are some of my two favorite books currently. So if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Goodreads, Tumblr, and Twitter. And until next time, I don't know what the sand is doing, but until next time, bye! Hello, and it is March 1st today, so that means it's February wrap-up time, and I read 4 books in February, which is a lot different